Why do people do the things they do? It's like this giant puzzle that every business, every leader is desperately trying to solve. Well, in this explainer, we're going to dig into how understanding the weird, predictable patterns behind our choices isn't just a nice to have, it's the absolute key to unlocking real growth.
So just think about this for a second. What if, instead of constantly fighting against human nature, you could actually work with it? Imagine building strategies that are so in sync with how people really think, they just feel natural, effortless even, for your customers, for your employees, for everyone. And okay, this is where it gets really, really cool. What if you could take all those seemingly random, illogical, totally irrational human behaviors and flip them into your biggest strategic advantage? Yeah, it's not about trying to fix people's quirks. It's about understanding them and using them. To get there, we first have to really look at the puzzle itself. And you've seen this a million times, right? The genius marketing campaign that just falls flat. The amazing new software that nobody on the team wants to use. We see what happens, but the real power, the real magic is in understanding why. You see, we like to think that logic is this straight line, a clear path from A to B. But the reality, it's way messier. We stick with the brand we know, even if it's more expensive. We put off that super important task until the very last minute. We make huge decisions based on a gut feeling. And listen, these aren't bugs in the human system, they're features. That's just how we're wired. But here is the big secret. All of this so-called irrationality, it's not random chaos, not even close. It actually follows really predictable patterns. And once you learn to spot these patterns, it's like someone just handed you the decoder ring for human behavior. For years, a lot of old school thinking, like classical economics, was built on this idea of the rational actor, this person who always makes perfect logical choices. But then, a whole new field came along, behavioral economics. And it showed us that, nope, we are not robots. We're influenced by biases, by our emotions, by what our friends are doing. We're not just irrational. The key is we are predictably irrational. And this is exactly where behavioral intelligence comes into play. To put it simply, it's the skill of taking all these incredible insights about how people tick and actually using them to shape your strategy and influence decisions. It's the bridge from, oh, that's interesting, to, okay, here's exactly what we're going to do about it. So how do you actually build this skill? Well, this isn't about getting lost in some abstract theory. No, this is about getting your hands on a powerful, practical, real-world toolkit. So let's open it up and see what's inside. First up, we've got prospect theory. This one is brilliant. It explains why losing 20 bucks feels way, way worse than the joy you get from finding 20 bucks. See, in our minds, losses just hit harder than gains. Once you get that, it completely changes how you frame an offer, how you talk about change, and how you manage risk. It's a total game changer. Next in the kit, behavioral game theory. Now don't worry, it's not really about playing games. It's about strategy. It helps you figure out what people are actually going to do in situations where their choices affect other people. Like a high-stakes negotiation or a super competitive market. It's kind of like being able to see a few moves ahead on the chessboard of human interaction. Then we have the incredible power of nudging. This is the subtle art of gently guiding people toward a better choice, but, and this is key, without ever forcing them or taking away their freedom to choose. It's all about making the best path the easiest and most obvious one to take. And all of these amazing tools are part of a bigger, even more powerful concept called choice architecture. This is about consciously designing the environment where people make decisions. Think about how a supermarket puts snacks at the checkout. That's choice architecture. You're not just giving people options, you're actively shaping the decision-making process to get better outcomes for everyone. So, what happens when you really learn to master these tools? Well, something amazing happens. You don't just learn a new skill set, you get a whole new lens to see the world through. You start to see things like a behavioral expert. This means you'll be able to take these insights and apply them no matter what you do. Finance, marketing, HR, you name it. You'll know how to design these clever nudges that guide behavior, how to make organizational change that actually lasts, and really, how to master the human element in any business situation. At the end of the day, it all comes down to this one fundamental shift. It's about using our understanding of human misbehavior, or, our predictable irrationality, to design smarter strategies. It's not about trying to change people, it's about changing the systems and the choices you offer them. Honestly, this knowledge is going to change how you see every single interaction, every decision, and every strategy you encounter. It's a real competitive edge. So the only question left is, are you ready to see what others don't?